recording, so watch your language. Last time we were dealing with the Chapter 10 workbook assignment. Is that correct? Pete, was this the one that doesn't have an upload? You sent me an email. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll get on that right now. Chapter 10 workbook. I gave you a due date, but didn't give you a way to turn it in. Submission. Online. File upload. Did I have you guys do PDFs last time or JPEGs? I think I like PDFs because I don't have to download them. And JPEGs I have to download. Let's try it. See how horrible it is. All right. Chapter 10. Workbook. Where'd we leave off? We're pretty much done with it, aren't we?
The workbook?
Yeah.
We skipped to the end
Did we?
because you wanted to do that chord review, but we didn't do some of the stuff in the middle together.
I'd love to look at number 6.
Okay, number 6. Mozart K310. What do you know about Mozart K310? This is one of only a couple that he wrote in minor, I believe. And K310 was written right after he found out his mother had died. I think he was out on the road with his tiara dad. What are they called? Tiara dads? I guess that's what they're called. His dad was always taking him from palace to palace to palace to show off what a great child prodigy he was. Anywho. So I think that's what he was up to when his mom died. Back home. This could all be false. So don't quote me. All right, let's listen to it. Let me share my screen and my audio. We are supposed to diagram the form of this excerpt in 4 ways, all of which are possible interpretations. A, all 4 measure phrases. B, 4 phrases, the last one extended. C, 2 long phrases plus a short final phrase. And D, 2 phrases, the second extended, 8 plus 12. Which interpretation do you prefer and why?
Exercise 10-1, B6.
Why did they give us that last C? All right. So my question for you is, do you hear this and this as a harmonic goal?
Exercise 10-1, B6.
Thoughts, comments, concerns? All right. So they're saying you can hear this as 4 measures, 4 measures, 4 measures, 4 measures, 4 measures. You cool with that? Listen to it.
Exercise 10-1, B6.
I hear it as the SC 8, 8, and 4.
All right, let's put that up.
So would 8, 8, and 4 be like a 3-phrase group? A 3-phrase period?
I have no idea. What do you think? So, Catherine, you're saying you do not hear the first dominant chord as the harmonic goal.
I think the phrase is better with it as 8, 8.
Yeah. Okay, Pete, ask your question again.
Oh, I was just trying to define what kind of what it would be. It would be a 3-phrase group.
Yeah, it would be A prime, and B, I think. Wouldn't it? All right, listening to it again, Catherine's way.
Exercise 10-1, B6.
I have to say that the way the performer interprets it is going to sway the listener one way or the other. I think that the interpreter here has totally interpreted it away in that it does what Catherine says. It matches the way C is, right? But I haven't played this since my first master's degree, so bear with me. But you could play it. You could put in pauses or not just be lickety split onto the next like this performer is to make a more convincing argument for one of the other answers. Does that make sense? He doesn't pause, whoever the performer is, they don't pause hardly at all after measure 4.
Exercise 10-1, B6.
So that lends to the listener hearing it one way, I think. What do you guys think?
Makes sense.
So this is cool Because it lends to the argument you're all making without saying it. Oh, I hate theory. I wish I was in the practice room practicing my craft. Here's where it actually applies. You know what I mean? So the way you interpret something causes your listener to analyze it a different way. The instructor adequately applies the content to my life. D, strongly agree. All right. So, Pete, what's your question on this one?
Oh, I was just wanted help with the diagramming.
Okay.
So I diagrammed all four of them.
Okay. What you got?
Well, the first one I've got a parallel double period, but it was kind of weird because it would make well, the first is period is A B, I guess, and then A B B for the three phrase group.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Let me try a little something here. I'm going to try to share my desktop. I'm going to open up a Word doc and just use its white background to draw on. If I can get it to work. Word. Zoom. Oh, come on. How's that a zoom? All right. Well, we'll do it that way. Okay. Pete, I think you're absolutely right. Let's try diagramming that. So you said you had a parallel double period. So that's the biggest grouping, right? And then you're saying that you've got an antecedent and a consequent phrase happening. And you're saying that that's made up of an A and a B and an A. Did you say B prime or B1?
Yeah, B1. Yeah, B prime.
And B2. Nice job. The book is agreeing with you so far. So now all we need to add to our little diagram is here. Is some measure numbers and some cadences. What do you think? Remind us all the definition of a parallel double period.
The last cadence has to be stronger than the first one.
And
They need They need to be parallel. No.
What makes them parallel?
They need to be similar and have antecedent and consequent.
So don't they have to start with the same melodic material? Remember Ode to Joy? Okay. So where are my cadences? Where are my measured numbers of those cadences?
The 1, 4, and 5, 8.
So measure 4, we have what kind of cadence?
Half cadence and a half cadence at 8.
So we're going to say half cadence, measure 4. Okay. And then what do we got to measure 8?
It's another half cadence.
Beauty. What's next?
Another half cadence at 12.
Okay.
Deceptive at 16.
All right.
And pack at the end.
Is everybody all right with that? So there's your answer for A. Aren't you glad you came to class today or watched this YouTube video? Show your appreciation by liking and subscribing. All right, B. It's just like A, except for we're doing what? 4, 4, 4 plus 8.
Combining the B's.
Yeah, so did everybody get their screenshot or their whatever so I can clear this? Because I'm going to mess it up now. I'm going to turn A into B. So all we're doing is going, zoop. Oh, I did not want to do that. All we're doing is we're going to go, why are those connected? I must have done them all in the same line. That's why. Okay, that's cool. All we're going to do is we're going to erase that. We're going to take that. Oh, no. We're going to take that out. And we're going to go. Zoop. Zoop. We're going to call that A. We're going to call that B. 1. And that's the answer for B. So what you got, Pete?
I got it. But does that make it a double period?
Yep.
Or is it still a parallel?
Still parallel double period.
Okay.
Are we good with that? All right. Let's draw another example. So, C. What does C want us to do? Two long phrases plus a short final phrase. They want us to do 8 plus 8 plus 4. All right, so for that, we're still going to have the parallel double period.
This doesn't make it a 3-phase period?
It does. I'm sorry, we're not going to have the parallel double period. We're going to just have the parallel period. Because A and A1 still start with the same material, even if we group it this way. Sad day I didn't leave a cutout for my B. That stays there. That stays there. Deceptive cadence. Measure 16. Are you all right with that? Is that what you got for C? You're like, I didn't do it yet. Thanks for the free answers, Doc B. Keep them coming. Okay. So number 4. Go ahead.
Well, this one, could this one be a sentence? I mean,
What's our
could it be?
definition of a sentence?
Well, we don't know if it happens anywhere else in speech. So.
Say that again. I can barely hear you.
A sentence doesn't happen more than one time in a piece, right? Because it's just a single thought.
Are you challenging the composers?
No, I just thought that's what was ridiculous.
The composers will do it. They'll do anything. Beethoven will mess everything up just to spite us. All right, the sentence is...
It's characterized by an immediate repetition variation.
Yeah, so the sentence has a melodic idea without a cadence, true? That's repeated. There's a melodic idea. The melodic idea is repeated, and then it drives us towards a cadence. I think you'd have a hard time calling this a sentence because you have obvious cadences. Okay. So, let's mess this one up and come up with D. So, we're still going to call it a parallel period. We're still going to keep A the same. But we are going to put in A1. Let's listen to it again. It's been so long since I've heard it. I don't know if I can hear it this way. Whoa.
Exercise 10-1, B6.
I can hear it that way.
That one has more of a big picture feel.
All right, now who sees the old lady with her big nose and her mouth and her eye and her black hair? And who sees the young lady with her eyelashes, her nose? Here's the chin. This is her ear. And this is her choker necklace. That's what this
I saw
class
the
is.
young girl first.
What's that?
I saw the young girl first until you started pointing at the old lady. But even that, it's kind of a struggle.
That's what this class is all about today. Can you see it more than one way? Claire, what are you shaking your head for? Which one do you see?
I saw the young one, but this is just not my thing.
Really, you should be pulling up. Is this dress yellow or is this blue?
This is true. The dress has a Wikipedia page. The dress. This is the original dress picture, so they say.
We'll know for sure if we start hearing different answers.
So I want to know what's the truth? What color is the dress?
Yeah, who cares about the picture? What is the actual garment colored?
How do you see black and blue? Isn't it white and gold?
You don't see black and blue?
No.
What?
What do you see?
I see black and blue.
No way. Gold and white.
No, I see black and blue. Oh.
What is black in that picture?
Okay, so black would be the trimming, I guess, and then dark blue would be the rest.
All right, we're gonna circle here. Is this black?
Yeah, that's black.
What?
I'm shocked.
Does everybody see the gold and white?
Yeah, this is the gold.
What?
I also see black and blue, but the black is tainted by gold. I can see the gold. I just don't see the white.
Yeah,
What, what do you call this then?
Blue.
Blue.
So I want to see the real dress. Like, what's the answer? Does anybody know what the answer
The fact that we're seeing different colors. I think I read somewhere that the actual color is white and gold, and then so everyone who sees it in blue is messed up in some way.
Do you see a duck or do you see a rabbit?
Duck.
Rabbit.
I saw the duck first, but the rabbit makes more sense. This is a section called Legacy.
Additionally, the retailer of the dress produced a one-off version of the dress in white and gold for charity. So what's the answer?
Wait, so does that mean it was actually black and gold?
Real colors of dress confirmed.
Or
The
black-
dress itself was confirmed as a royal blue lace bodycon dress from the retailer Roman Originals, which was actually black and blue in color. Although available in 3 other color options, red and pink, ivory, each with black lace. So I can't see it the other way. I cannot see it as black.
I think I've only seen it as black and blue once, but it was like I thought it was just another picture of it.
All right.
I think if
well,
you don't think about it, you'll
What does
see.
what does it all mean?
Exactly. So this was a good little analogy for this Mozart piece, because you can hear it and see it and understand it different ways. But I think the point that I made earlier, the way you interpret it can have a big impact on how your listener is going to hear it and analyze it. All right, we have one more. Do we not? Or we don't? We're done. We did A, B, C, D. That was the 8 plus 12. So I can see it.
Correct.
I can see it probably any one of those four ways. As to which one I prefer, I don't know. I really liked the last way. The last way kind of makes the most sense symmetrically to me. But again, I think that the performance is going to sway me. All right. Did we go over all these chords at the end? I felt like we didn't get very many of them done.
Yeah, I think we did C at like the end of class one
Okay.
day.
Let's look at C10. We're in A major. We want a 4 chord. What's a 4 chord?
E major.
D major. And we want it to be a major 7th. Interesting. They don't call it a major 7th. They don't put the capital M there. But you should. We're doing number 10, C10.
Oh, okay.
Does that work? F sharp minor. 5-4-2. What is the root? Let's start with, what is the 5 of F sharp?
C sharp.
Well, they just hate us. My computer does not like this one. It won't give it to me. Oh, come on.
You're an F sharp minor?
Yeah.
Oh.
Aren't I? A major, F sharp minor, right? What do I got to hit? Well, poo on them. How should it be spelled?
A.
What?
You don't start with A?
Oh, there's not even an A in it.
C sharp, E,
Good.
G.
That's in root position, right? But they want a 5-4-2.
C sharp, E, and G sharp.
E would be on the bottom, right?
B would be on the bottom. So it would be B, C sharp, E sharp, which they're not letting us put in, and G sharp.
Try doing it from the top down. What?
It hates us. Maybe I should ask the author. Ah! I hit the right button. The right button is B. B for using the bass note to determine the spelling. There's our answer. Cool? Have we had enough fun on Chapter 10? Did we talk about Chapter 10's quiz? Yes, we did, but I never posted it. Let me post it. Should we have a test? Instructor resources. Instructor manual, Chapter 10. All right. I'm going to show you the quiz. You ready? Is this legal? We are going to use turning point, but not right now. Our license is expiring, I think tomorrow, and they've put in to renew turning point, so I have to wait till that renewal process goes through, and then I'll start using turning point a lot. Where did I go? So we're just doing an analysis of two things. Okay? It's only 1 page in length. Questions on the quiz? All right, shall we start chapter 11? Oh, chapter 11 is going to be fun.
What does chapter 11 offer?
Say that again.
What does chapter 11 have for us?
Oh, it's all about two-part counterpoint.
Interesting.
Is it going to be as fun as chapter 10?
Oh, I don't know. Is that possible? Come back. Sorry, I'm having a hard time here. I'll do this later. Okay, chapter 10. Sorry, chapter 11. Two-part counterpoint. What is that? Exercise 11-1. Oh, I'm in workbook. I don't want to be in workbook.
Now swing it.
All right, here we go. Yes. Take us there. Two-part counterpoint. Two-part tonal counterpoint. In the last section of chapter 8, soprano bass counterpoint, we provided a preliminary discussion of counterpoint, the combining of relatively independent musical ideas. We discussed its relationship to harmony, its focus on horizontal relationships in contrast to the vertical focus of harmony, and that these two components are two sides of a single coin. In tonal music, contrapuntal lines must generally combine in such a way as to make a convincing harmonic progression, which means that they cannot be completely independent. But we also showed how each line should ideally have its own unique contour and rhythm. While the treatment of counterpoint in chapter 8 was discussed primarily from the perspective of analysis and textural reduction, the approach in this chapter is on composition. The history of counterpoint instruction is many centuries old. Certainly the most famous and influential counterpoint manual of all time is the 1725 treatise entitled Gradus ad Parnassum by Johann Joseph Fuchs, an Austrian composer and theorist whose text was used by composers from Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven to Brahms and Ravel, among many others. Fuchs's approach was to teach counterpoint in the context of 5 species, representing increasingly complex levels of rhythmic motion and dissonance treatment among the voices. Doesn't this already just sound enthralling to you? Nobody's nodding their head. Okay. First species counterpoint features a contrapuntal voice that moves at the same speed as the cantus firmus. Hence, it is also called 1-to-1 or 1:1 counterpoint. The intervals formed by these two voices employ only consonances, no dissonances. Second species counterpoint increases the relative speed of the contrapuntal voice to 2-to-1, with passing dissonances being allowed on the offbeats. The third species involves 4-to-1 motion, while fourth species adds syncopation and suspensions. Finally, fifth species is a mixture of the other 4 species and also introduces even shorter note values. After working through all 5 species using 2 voice examples, the same procedure is applied to 3 and then to 4 voices. Do you know what's going on? We'll get there. As a tool for understanding tonal harmony and counterpoint, however, it has one weakness. It was designed to emulate a musical style, that of Palestrina, a late 16th century composer that used the traditional church modes, Lydian, Dorian, etc., and an emphasis on intervals between voices rather than between chords. Our brief introduction to the art of writing counterpoint in this chapter makes some use of first species. Chapter 12 will treat second and fourth species in a similar manner, but it does so in a harmonic context using major and minor scales, modern meters, cadences, and triadic harmony. That is, we will try to keep in mind the principles of good counterpoint while at the same time writing lines that conform to good tonal progressions. The resulting compositional examples will bear a strong resemblance to the soprano, bass, or outer voice counterpoint examples achieved through textual reduction that we illustrated in Chapter 8. Are you sleeping through my class, Rumi? Making rude snoring noises while we're learning about species counterpoint. Why don't you enroll and get a degree? Why don't you enroll and get a degree? You know half the stuff anyway.
I do. I've been listening to it.
You can substitute teach for me. Do you think they'd like Mrs. B better than Doc B?
Everyone
Not
does.
a chance. Huh?
Everyone does.
Not a chance.
Everyone loves me.
They like your
Who was
cooking.
the one that liked their brownies cakier?
That's me.
Okay, she's right.
No. Don't even start this in my house.
I second that.
Oh, no. You haven't had mine yet. You got to try both of them. No, they're choosing your brownies. No. All right, we're just going to move on to composing an unembellished baseline.
Cake and brownies. Not even the same.
Whatever.
Not even the same.
In this first section, we will practice writing unembellished baselines. That is, baselines in which there is only one note for each chord. For most of these beginning exercises, you will be provided a harmonic progression to use instead of being asked to create your own. Thank heavens. Because these baselines are more like textural reductions than fully worked out pieces, they will have a more restricted character with the following features in common. Number 1, length. The baselines will consist of short 4 to 6 measure phrases, or they will combine two such roughly equal length phrases to form a period. If the example is a period, you do not need to try to smoothly connect the counterpoint or harmonic progression between the two phrases. Treat them each separately. Number 2, harmonic rhythm. The chords and the bass line will generally move in half notes in 4/4 time. The line can begin on either beat 1 or 3, but use the same initial beat placement for each phrase of a period and always begin the final pitch on beat 1. If a phrase begins on beat 1, use a whole note for the final pitch. Key. For example, each example will use a single major or minor key. Use melodic minor when appropriate. 4, beginning and ending. Each phrase will begin and end on tonic or dominant harmonies. If a phrase begins with a dominant harmony, make it an upbeat by beginning on beat 3. So there's our rules, our norms. Next, follow these steps to compose an effective bass line and its corresponding harmonic progression. Step 1, composing the bass line. Number 1, notate in root position. Notate the bass line in root position using the given progression. So they're giving us training wheels again. They're restricting us. Number 2, range. Stay within the appropriate range of E2 to C4 and use leaps larger than a fifth only occasionally. Example 11-1 illustrates a root position bass line and its associated progression. Note the progression has been constructed using the principles given in Chapter 7. We're in G minor. time. Step 2, determining chords that must remain in root position. There are certain chords that should always be left in root position for the purposes of these exercises. Number 1, first and last chords of each phrase should be in root position. Number 2, 5 and a 5-to-1 cadence. In addition, if the cadence, the last two chords of the phrase, is 5-to-1, the 5 should also be in root position. Number 3, a 6 and a 5-6 progression. If a progression contains the deceptive progression 5-6 or 5 to major 6 in minor, at least the 6 should be in root position. The bass line from example 11-1 is shown again in example 11-2, this time with circles around the notes that should remain in root position. So we got to keep our beginning and end and our cadence in root position. Anything else we can change. Are we all right so far? Step 3, determining the chords that must be used in first inversion. There are a few triads that should be used in first inversion rather than in root position. Number 1, diminished triads. These include the 2 diminished chord in the minor keys and the 7 diminished chord in both major and minor keys. Example 11-3 shows our bass line with the 7 changed to a 7 diminished 6 and the 2 diminished chord to a 2 diminished 6. So there we go. Update 11-3 with your diminished chords in first inversion. Number 2, either 5 or 1, but not both in an internal 5-to-1 progression. If the progression contains 5-to-1 or 5 to minor 1 within the phrase, not at the very beginning or at the cadence, it is usually best to keep it from sounding too final by using 5-6 to 1 or 5 to 1-6. Avoid 5-6 to 1-6. You all right with that? Step 4, improving the bass contour. That opens itself for so many problems. Here are a few additional suggestions concerning the overall flow and contour of the bass line. Repeated bass notes. First, it is a good idea to avoid repeating bass notes across the bar line because such repetitions tend to confuse the harmonic rhythm. There was a repetition across the bar line in example 11-3. We had 2 C's. Right here. See them? The 4 chord has a C. The 2-6 has a C. Well, we have to keep that, so we're probably going to end up changing that. What do you want to bet? Which example 11-4 corrects by inverting the 4 chord. Called it. Okay. So that avoids that repeated bass line across the bar line. 2, focal point. Hey, we have to worry about focal points on the bass now. It's best that the bass line contains a single highest point or a single lowest point in the line. In example 11-4, the E flat 3 provides that focal point. Number 3, convert large leaps. First inversions are often used to convert large leaps into smaller leaps or into stepwise motion. The 6th between G2 and E flat 3 in example 11-4 becomes a 4th in example 11-5 when the 1 chord is inverted. Tonal variety. Notice that inverting the 1 chord also helps the bass line in another way. Where we once had 3 Gs out of 7 pitches, we now only have 2, and we have added a new pitch class, B flat. Pitch class just means pitch, to the line. This is called tonal variety, and it is preferred over tonal redundancy. the overuse of a single pitch class. So here's our new and improved bass line. Change of direction. If a large leap occurs in the line, change the direction of the line after the leap and, if possible, before the leap as well. Dissonant intervals. Avoid the use of augmented intervals, sevenths, and any interval larger than an octave. The only diminished intervals used are the diminished fourth, scale degree 3, 7, and 1 in minor. Where did I go? Three to 7 to 1 in minor. And the diminished fifth, 4 to 7 to 1 in major or minor. Both intervals are illustrated in 11-6. In either case, the line changes direction after and usually before the leap. So we have E flat to B. That is allowable. And the diminished fifth. So the first one is 3, 7, 1, scale degrees, 3, 7, 1. And the first one is 4, 7, 1. So you could have the diminished fourth and diminished fifth if you do use those specific scale degree combinations. Are we all right with that? We're going to have to review the snot out of this chapter, aren't we? There's a lot of new
I was
things.
just thinking I'm going to be listening to this on YouTube at like 75 speed.
Yes. Dr. B, boring. My wife already thinks I'm boring enough. You want to slow me down and make me more boring. That's going to be fun. That's just for you.
I'm going to just go back just for that. Just for that.
Or you could do twice, 2 times speed.
Yeah, but I'm already like blanking and like my eyes are glazing over from just him reading through it like this. So I need to slow it down just to be like, okay, focus.
Dissonant intervals. Avoid the use of it.
Melodic minor. In minor keys, remember to use melodic minor. This may occasionally change the quality of the triad as shown in example 11-7.
Also very good. Very good.
All right, so they like melodic minor. This is going to change the quality of the triad as shown in example 11-7. For example, in the progression, minor 4 to 5 to 1, if you invert the first two chords, you should change 4-6 to major 4-6 to avoid an augmented second in the bass. Likewise, in the progression 1 to 5, minor 1 to 5 to minor 4 to 5, if you invert the middle two chords, you should change the major 5-6 to minor 5-6. Here's our melodic line. One more time. All right. 6/4 chords. You may have noticed that all of the inverted triads we have used have been first inversion triads. When you begin writing your own progressions, you may include cadential 6/4 chords before the cadential dominant. For now, however, avoid using 6/4 chords. Another restriction. That's cool. So that was a lot. This is going to require some rereading on your part. Yeah? Self-test 11-1. Compose bass lines for the following progressions. Inverting harmonies and changing chord labels as necessary. Follow suggested procedures and explain your decisions. There is more than one acceptable answer to those exercises. So please review solutions with your instructor. All right. So we need to start off by circling some chords that have to stay in root position. This is true. Which chords, according to the chart on page 172, have to stay in root position? You've already forgotten.
First and last chords.
First and last chords.
And if it goes to 5-1.
Which it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Okay. Check. What else has to stay in first? Or sorry, stay in root position. Five in a 5-1 cadence. And 6 in a 5-6 cadence.
So there's a 5-1 cadence in the first, going to the second measure.
There's a 1-5, but there's not a 5-1, right? Are
Going
you
to-
saying?
I thought the 5-1 could be changed if it was in the middle of the phrase. It could be inverted.
That's true, yeah.
Well, the other argument I'm going to make is, do we really have a cadence just because we went 5-1? Dun, dun, dun. Right? Because it might not be our harmonic goal. Can you cadence after 2 notes?
Cadence after 1 note.
Can you?
Be like a sentence. Or like a sentence, right?
Perhaps. All right, so I don't see anything else that we have to keep in root position unless you're going to deceptive cadence at measure 3. What say ye?
Would it?
I am so lost right now.
Oh no, we have no hope.
We are taking self-test 11-1. Oh, I see what's going on. They give us the answers as we go along.
Oh, wait. It says down there, here's the example with mandatory root
Right.
positions.
Right, so they're saying that we do have to change that one because we're cadencing there. We got 2 out of 3 right. Go us. All right, which ones do we know that we have to change into first inversion? We know that we have to change. Anything that's a diminished interval has to be go into first inversion, does it not?
Yeah, because they don't want it.
Right, unless they're one of the acceptable.
So is this one got to be changed to first inversion? Okay, then we also have to change 5-1 or 1-5 in an internal progression. So that's going to require what?
The 5 in the first measure to,
This one?
yeah, because it's 5-1.
Okay. And then you have 5-1 and 1-5. Does one of these have to change?
Or can we change just the 1 and then it's fine?
I don't think so. Ah, it says one or the other. To me, that contradicts what they said. But you can't do both. Either 5 or 1, but not both, in an internal 5-to-1 progression. If the progression contains a 5-to-1 or 5-to-minor 1 within the phrase, not at the very beginning or at the cadence, it is usually best to keep it from sounding too final by using 5-6-to-1 or 5-to-1-6, but not avoid. We need to avoid 5-6-to-1-6. So the 1 to 5 is okay, but the 5 to 1 is not. That's where I was getting hung up. Are we okay with that? All right, here we go. With that prep exercise, we're now on our own. Let's circle everything that has to stay the same. So this has to stay the same. This has to stay the same. That has to stay the same. True. So can we put that in right now? You want to go low or you want to go high? You want to go low. Cool. What has to go to first inversion?
The low road, I see Dr. B.
Yeah.
The diminished 7 needs to go into inversion.
Okay, we got to put that into an inversion.
The 5-to-1.
We got to put this in first inversion.
One of them, yeah.
One of them. Okay. So this is going to go to G. To be in 6, is that right?
Do we have to invert that?
Yeah, it's diminished. We can't do diminished.
That was my understanding.
Okay.
Diminished triads must be used in first inversion.
Oh, right, because they're restricting us. Okay.
For now. They're giving us training wheels. We can't go on the big wheels yet.
We have to be certified first.
I think we can barely get on training wheels.
All right.
Giving us a life jacket. They'll take it away later.
What else?
The 1 or the 5?
Do you want to do the 5 or you want to do the 1?
Let's do the 5.
Make it first inversion.
You want to make it a 5-6?
E.
All right. Are we just putting everything else in normal? Or should we put it in normal for now and then massage it?
We're going to need to massage it, I think, but
Yeah.
see what it looks like.
All right, so let me just put in some tones just to get us on the board thinking. What's our 6?
D.
All right. What is wrong with our bass line?
Those loose at the end.
You like that? It's a suspension.
There's 2 focal points. There's two G's.
Well, that's no good. But we have to have the G for the first one, so we need to change the other one. So we can put that in first inversion, right?
Low B flat.
You want to go low B flat? Yeah, we can do
Because I
that.
think it'll be easier to transition to that C.
Yeah.
When it says large leap, how large did they specify?
I don't think they did.
Are they just inferring that we understand large leap as over a fourth, like they had been talking about in other chapters?
Yeah, they converted a sixth to a fourth.
We moved in the opposite direction. It's fine.
So what happens if we switch this up? Because we got that large leap. So if we take that out.
Make it a C on the 5 and then A flat, maybe? On the 1. Make it, or not A flat. I don't know. I was thinking minor. A, natural.
And make this a 1-6A.
Right. And because when I was first looking at it, I was thinking minor.
I like it better. Is that okay?
Looks like we don't have repeated notes over the measure lines.
We do have 3 Fs. We want to talk about diversity. You want to see what the book did?
Sure. Just put it in red.
Oh, it'll be too messy.
No, he's just going to erase a lot of hard work. It's okay.
Typical.
So the book put this in first inversion, which gets us that diversity, right? It went clear up to the high D. They kept this in first or in root position.
Poor bases.
They put this in first inversion. We had to put this in first inversion as well, didn't we? And then we have to keep these in root.
It's a hard baseline.
Honestly,
We still have one focal point. Only 2 Fs now. 2 Cs, 2 As.
all the last 3 measures, those were all our notes too, except that we went an octave lower. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's undo. Can we undo? Let's see if we can undo.
Yeah. Undo. That doesn't strain the poor guys.
And then yeah, the D, we had that D too. We just went an octave down.
Yeah. Cool. We're going to have to go over all this again Monday when you forget this weekend.
Possibly.
When's that quiz going to be due?
I don't know. When do you want to do?
Out of this weekend?
Yeah, I'll give you more than the weekend. I'll put it up, though. I'll give you a long time. All right, so I will plan on seeing all of you tomorrow at ear training. Is this true? Is there anybody I do not see at ear training? All righty. Got to get ready for that ear training exam. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Doc B.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
Dr. B.
Bye-bye.
Dr. B, I just wanted to make sure that you marked me here.
Probably didn't.
Okay, I'm sorry I was late. My Wi-Fi was just being not fun.
That's fine. I'll get you.
Has troubles when it's windy outside.
I've got you here.
Cool. All right, thanks, Doc.
All right, bud. See ya.
Bye.